Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang the bombs bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I am Tim Beard.
I'm Steve Morris.
How you doing, Steve?
Doing pretty good. How about you, Tim?
Not bad. Sorry, this would be the first show of the whole week. Just been super busy trying to get a place to live.
You got life commitments. This is more of a...
Yeah.
We like to try to talk about what's going on around Newport, the state, the country, the world. Right now, you got a house situation going on, so that's more important.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I guess I could come in here and pontificate to the world the sweet musings of Steve-O.
Yeah, you could.
I don't know how to do all that editing and
I just
everything.
bring it to the house. I can edit it real quick. Editing is quick. Doing the show takes longer now. But when you were gone, it was really sucking because it took me an hour to edit because I'd put like a picture up when you talked and I had to like really go through it. And now it's just like boom, boom, drop, go. And, but
Yeah, I was always sounding nice and professional, then you'd throw up the picture of me with my pink tutu gear on.
that was one time. And who told you? Did your wife tell you?
No.
You watched it?
Yeah.
You finally watched it? How long did it take you to watch it?
Oh, wow.
I told Nikki that, and I only did it one day, and I actually didn't even do it for the whole show because I was like, he's gonna kill me because that was a picture I took of Steve when we got our tutus. That came with he got a cape and that, and he put it on, and I took a picture. He's like, "Did you take a picture?" I'm like, "No."
Millennials, you can't trust you guys around technology.
Hey, I'm barely a millennial, for the record. Yeah, that's funny. So, so that's what I've been doing all week is getting up early, go to the land, and work until 9 o'clock at night-ish. Last night I got home at almost 10. Super excited yesterday, though, because, since we moved it up there, I guess, we've had half of the front, so people can see, has been like wide open. You can just see the wall, studs in the wall, because we took it off that, I can't even say it's plywood, it's like cardboardy, shiny crap that they call structural plywood. It says it right on it, structural. I'm like, yeah, right, it's funny. So we had taken that off, a while ago, and then we'd stopped because Alan had told Andrew, like, hey, you shouldn't keep putting stuff up because you're going to move this and things are going to move. And she hasn't watched the show in a while, so I had said this, but I was told that I was wrong, I guess. I don't know.
I've been there. I know that situation that you're
So
describing.
I just said, okay. And I got it. I understood. She wanted to get as much done. And that's good. That's smart. But it moved a few things. So I mean, it wasn't too bad. I only had to fix a few things. But I did find once, well, she found it. There was one spot that I had to lift the back of it up with the loader with the forks, and it broke actually. Well, a piece of the plywood. So I told her, I said, like, hey, why don't you cut that piece off? We'll put a new piece in there. And she said, okay. Once you cut it off, the part of the floor was like broke, the joist on the outside where it comes across. So I just got to get a couple like steel plates, like truss plates, to just stick in there. It's not horrible, but it was like, ah, crap. But so last night I started to work on that. Like, hey, let's just get this whole front done. So I was so happy we got it. It was late, but we got the whole front. It's all plywood. The windows are all in the front. I just got the rest to do, but because my neighbors are probably driving by thinking, hey, great, they're finally doing something after this place has just been had a barn for many years now. But it looks like a shack. It really does. It doesn't look good at all. So maybe now they'll look like, oh, because when it's done, my neighbors are gonna hopefully be like, oh wow, that looks really nice. Because I have the siding is ready to pick up too. So I'd like to at least do the front of the siding soon, even though that's not really a huge priority, but it'll look nice in the front. And the roofing either will be delivered today or worst case tomorrow. So I'm hoping to get the roof done this weekend. So if I can get a roof on this place and get the front done, it'll start to really come into it. And I'm excited because I'm actually starting to feel it. I'm actually starting to see, hey, we are making progress. And because I've been working up there I've owned the land, I think 6 or 7 years. And, I've done a lot of work in that period of time, but nothing compared to like this summer. And I'm actually like the slab for the garage is there, and it's actually really coming together. So it's nice. It's progress.
No, I'm excited for you guys. Man.
Yeah, we keep finding things. She took a wall off the other day, and it was like ants, insane amount of ants. And I'm like, well, just spray them with something, and then once we have to take the wall. Like these people that own this thing are just.
You got to put new insulation in.
Yeah, some of the insulation was usable, and actually some of it we took out of the kitchen. We actually just put in the floor as extra insulation, so that around the pipes and whatever. Which obviously it's late. I'm tired and giving Andrea a hard time because she wants to put insulation around stuff on the floor, and I'm just like, I just want to get this plywood on the floor. I'm sick of having to stop because we got to do this first. I've just hit all these roadblocks, and she's like, but you already say you're gonna do it right. And I'm like, I know, but I'm not taking that plywood off the floor, So she took the insulation and put it in the spots, and so yeah, that stuff that it's still good, but any of it's nasty with throwing out. Just we legit when we bought this place, we got it super super cheap. It cost more to move it, and then she started to strip it out and found roaches, and she's like, and that's disgusting. I've never in my life ever lived at a place that had roaches ever. And
never lived in the South?
No, and I know down south, but up here it's not down south.
Not, I know it's not. Yeah.
Or the city, or I get some of that. But so she reached out to them because we hadn't paid them yet because listen, we're not paying you for this until we know we can move it because I'm not going to get shafted out of $5,000. So she reached out to them and was like, "There's roaches here." She sent her $4,000. She's like, I'm keeping 1,000 of it because that's what it. She's like, I looked up how much it costs for extermination per square foot or whatever in New Hampshire, and she's like, no, this we getting. Then the lady's like, well, how do I know? Maybe you planted those roaches in there. And I'm like, are you stupid? Seriously,
I mean, there are people that would do things to save a buck, but that's a step.
Yeah,
that's kind of a step to plant roaches. I mean,
yeah.
You're not going to be able to get them out of there. Even if you had a jar of roaches, you're going to spread them out on the wall and be like, see? Because then you're really going to have to deal with roaches.
Right.
So why would you give yourself a roach problem? Yeah. I like it. I like where your logic and reasoning's at.
She sprayed it earlier this year, this summer or whatever, and when she found them. But it wasn't, the halves weren't together and stuff, so I don't, it doesn't have that, the air it's going to get out, the aerosol stuff. So, now that's I don't know what it'll do. We found a couple the other day when we were ripping it, but honestly, soon there's nothing really basically the structure of it is original. In time we're done, the floors, the wall, like it's all gonna be brand new. So I think we'll be good. But we're ripping up the floor. Oh man, the kitchen floor.
I would set off a roach bomb every night when I leave there, like just to make sure, because you know it only takes one headless roach to.
And literally, those are the one thing they say with the nuclear blast could survive is a roach. And it's like, and I'm going to try to kill you with my can of aerosol.
A little ortho or whatever that used to, that bug bomb commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know, kills bugs dead.
Yeah.
Raid, maybe? I don't know.
We've had them years ago, like for fleas. You know, if your animal's bringing fleas in, you get all fleas in your house. They have these bomb things. And I've done those, and you just leave them and whatever.
We would do that before we go off on vacation.
Yeah.
Set one off up in the attic and like a yearly thing. I mean, I don't know that we had to do it, but we did it.
Right. Yeah, the ants were the thing because we had even the house we live in now. We've had ant issues. A lot of people have ant issues. That's common. But an ant.
My ants come and go. Like I know now after living here for some odd years that.
I'm fine with ants though. Ants aren't a sign of your.
The flies come like at the end of summer for some reason.
Yeah.
Like August, September time frame, like the black flies, not the biting flies, but like
yeah. I know what you're saying. But ants are ants. Okay, I get it. Everyone has ants. Ants aren't a sign of you're a disgusting, filthy person. Roaches are. Except maybe down south, that's like, or in a city. Okay, but like. Or I get it. You live in an apartment and a neighbor next door, but it comes from that. It comes from that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, down south they're heavily into trees, so
yes,
you can end up buying a place and not realizing that there's a.
Yeah, so if you're from down south and you're watching this, this is not talking about you. I'm talking about people up here in the Northeast that have roaches in a single house, so not an apartment because you could have a neighbor but that's how it comes right there, like. You know, ants just happen. My grandmother used to, you be careful, don't put sugar out or anything on the counter because they'll attract them. And I can deal with ants, but I cannot deal with that.
Yeah, it seems like in the spring every year we get the little tiny ants. Every once in a while I'll see some of those big, almost like carpenter ants, and then
My grandmother uses, I think
spray.
It's cinnamon. A little bit of, because I come in their house one day, what the hell you got on your windowsill and stuff? Excuse me, cinnamon.
I think it's almost like any powder you can put down and they won't come across it. Because you can draw a chalk line too, right?
Uh-huh.
That could be an old wives' tale.
A lot of those old wives' tales do work, Here, let me show you a couple things. This is the first one. So, this is the kitchen. But see how nasty it was over here? So over here by of course I'm pointing on the clicker. Steve can see what I'm saying over here. Over here where this black pipe is, and the insulation, and there's like a window up top. This is where the sink and stuff was. So there was like 4 layers of floor in this room. The first one we were like ripped up, and underneath was all like black mold, and and then Andrea did this whole thing herself. Like I said, I've been working outside, and she did this. It took her a whole day to do it. And she was getting frustrated, and but there was 4 layers of floor on this. On that, like just different 2 different layers of like linoleum and then like all this stuff. It was crazy. But so the whole place, except for our bedroom and bathroom, bedroom and bathroom, I'd say. I think the girls' rooms are the only ones that we don't have to rip the floors out, but the rest of it is just disgusting. Like, so this is just stripped out here, and
one thing I know about Andrea, she won't put up with disgusting. So anything that looks disgusting in this picture has probably already been ripped out, or
all that insulation's already gone. And there's actually plywood on this floor now. This is a picture I took the other day, and this is I actually took this so I could tell her. I told her to pick one of these up for me. It's so it's PEX up to here, and then I want copper for the shutoffs and stuff. And I never did check see if she got the right thing for me, and then I'm moving stuff like.
What is that? Just an up-down switch?
No, this is just a piece of PEX with a shutoff. Well, this is just it's closed in so that you could pressure test the house and stuff after to make sure there's no leaks. You'll cut this off and then you'll put a shutoff on here. copper's just a nicer look, better together. I use PEX though for most of this because if you did have freezing, PEX can expand to like 10 times its size before it'll actually break. And I use brass fittings and not plastic ones, so that you should be good. But yeah, this black pipe here is the drain pipe that it should be here in the wall, and then I'll run it up and vent it and stuff. So
Are you gonna move it over to the wall, or?
yep, yeah, I'll cut it out of there. That's the old one. And here's the well. It's kind of hard to see, but this little white spot over there is the well.
Concrete top.
Excuse me, I sent this to you yesterday. Got it all graded out, and
Yeah, it looks nice.
it's tough because it's really wet through there, and I moved all that wet freaking dirt.
So did you get good dirt on top?
Not yet. I'm not too worried about it because I don't do much over here driving and stuff, but the big machine has to go back. I rented it for an extra 2 days. I was supposed to go back Wednesday, and I rented it for an extra couple days. So today, I'll go do some more with it. Because it's just, with my small machine, it's tough because I can't fill the dump truck up really well. So I want to move some more good dirt, hopefully today, up to where the septic's going to go, so I can try to get some of that filled in. But yeah, so that's just some of the progress I've made. Yeah, no, we're getting there. It's just yeah. Told my dad, I was like, because
Looking good.
one of the hardest things is I got the well line in from the garage, and there's a 300-foot roll. I was like 5 feet short of where I put the well. And I know there were some spots where it wasn't really perfectly straight, because this stuff, as it comes in rolls, it constantly wants to go back to roll shape. And at a pole, I probably would have had enough, but so I did have to put a little coupling in there. But we had a hell of a time. I run a 4-inch pipe up and into the garage, PVC, and then that's just a 1-inch water line, poly water line, and I run a rope and stuff through that. We had a hell of a time getting it to make that 90 up in there. So then from the garage to the slab for the house, I ran a 2-inch conduit for the water line. Then we run between the two, which is 3/4-inch PEX, which now I'm like, man, if I struggle getting that 1-inch to the 4-inch, I'm like, I don't know if I ever get the 3/4-inch to the 2-inch. But PEX is more flexible, but I'm kind of still, because it's got to go through 290s, and we'll see. Hopefully I can make that happen. But if not, I may have to dig it up in the center and stick it up one side, stick it up the other to make it work. But we'll make it work. But I don't have pictures of it. But like I said, I finished the front. I'll take some pictures this weekend as I do stuff too, so next week I can show stuff. But I got more 2-inch dents, like gravelly stuff in the front. So up by the slab is all filled in, and
Nice. Now you won't get muddy walking around it.
yeah, I've actually brought a lot of dents in last Saturday, back and forth United, to fix the driveway and stuff, and it's come a long ways. And we had to back the trailer in there, and had that dirt pile, like that's completely gone. I graded that out.
Oh, nice.
So
You're busy with that bigger.
yeah, I'm getting there. It's funny because the mini I like to use for pushing dirt and back dragging and stuff, because it's easier because you're closer and you can see it better. But the big one works good. Like all that stuff, I put it behind the garage. Those big piles I had of that wet, nasty crap. I mean, it's just clay dirt, but once it gets dry, it will be like concrete. It's really hard. So then I can put something on top of it and it'll be good. But I put it behind the garage because the septic's going over behind the house. So even though you drive out there, it's like, even with the excavator, you're like squishing into it. But come spring, it'll be dry and it'll be fine. But I was like, what am I going to do with this? Because I can't put it over there.
When you got to put the septic in?
Well,
Soon?
my buddy said by the end of September. Well, he said, I texted him and said, hey, at some point in September, could you do a design for me? He said, yeah. Okay. Messaged him last week. Hey, when can you do it? He's like, it's the end of October. And I'm like, what happened in September? He's like, well, this week I'm doing a septic system. And next week I'm in Ohio hunting. I'm like, okay, so I'm hoping maybe like 2 weeks he can come out. And I just need him to design it so I can do it. But I probably can put the tank in, and because he designs and puts it where, I mean, there's certain rules, but where it is, there's not I'm good. So I probably can put a tank in and do some stuff. But I got to bring up the grade anyways and do a little bit. But I really want to do it before the weather gets too bad because it just will suck. But no, making really good headway. But I want to. So it's funny. So the other day you're up there helping us. I don't think we didn't talk about this last week, right? You stepped on a nail. Did we talk about this on the show?
I think we did.
We did. Well, so I was going to razz on you again about it, but the other day, I think it was Tuesday. So I was doing the well, I was putting the well in. And I looked down on my left knee, and I'm like, there's like this little, it looks like string, but it's metal, so it must have been one of the, like, so the hooks on the well is steel cable. Obviously cables, small cables, they wrap it up, whatever. It must have been one of them or something, I don't know. But it's like this long, and it's sticking out of my knee, and I didn't really feel it at first. So I started to pull it out. I'm not kidding. That thing was in there at least a quarter of an inch in my knee. Because I'm like, okay, I'm like, oh, okay. Started taking it out. And then I kind of like a little panic, like, holy shit, how far, like, in my knee is this piece of metal? And I pull it out. I'm like, holy crap. And it kind of was like, at the end I had to kind of like yank it. So it was like a splinter, but it was metal. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. So you're worried about your little hole in your foot from your nail. And I'm like, and I got one here. Last night, I'm bleeding all over the place. I got so many cuts and scrapes. And
Well, Tim, it's a known fact that when a nail travels through the shoe, it collects all the material. So
listen,
anything that I had stepped on prior to stepping on that nail was put into my foot.
it's pretty clean in here. You're good.
No, I was... You saying I don't ever leave my house?
I'm just giving you a hard time. Listen, if I end up in the hospital, the next show I do, I'll be like, hey, Steve was right. I was wrong. But, I was doing the side, and they're doing the wood yesterday, putting it on the side. And I mean, this was at night. My finger felt weird. I'm like, what the hell? I look down, I got blood. And I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. Keep working. Then I was like, it's like more blood, like coming across my finger around here. I'm like, oh, no. So luckily I had a first aid kit in my black truck, which is there, that Corey gave me earlier this summer when I cut my finger at the job on Belknap, that I still had the first aid kit. So Andrea took and wiped it off and then just put a Band-Aid around it. I was like, good, I can keep working. I just don't want the blood to keep coming out. It's going to be all over the place, and I don't want too much getting there. But, yeah, I mean, I think I have a pretty good immune system from just, obviously doing this stuff, but I do think about you, Steve, sometimes because I'm like,
Well, as you're saying that, I think I can feel my left foot kind of tingling here.
You probably can, yeah.
It's still tender where I stepped on it. I haven't taken any antibiotics in a couple days, but I don't know. It took 3 or 4 days worth of antibiotics. It's all fun and games until you get. I've never had it, but I mean
No.
I mean, if
When's the last time you had a
Beto O'Rourke
tetanus
has
shot?
it, I don't know. I had a lot of shots when I was in the military.
It's good for 10 years.
They stay on top of you for that kind of garbage.
That's usually the one thing they worry about with stepping on a nail is tetanus. But this 10-year shot, last I knew it was good. I haven't stepped on it in a little while, but I had one close call where I stepped down and I felt it just touch the bottom of my foot, and you pull up real quick, like, whoa, that was close. Because a full step in, which I've done it before, like as a kid I've done it, I've had a board stuck in your foot and you have to like push the board, like it's not fun. It's, yeah.
Laugh it up, Tim, at my expense.
So, a couple things. My mom, so I went to get a haircut yesterday, and I was just about to go in. My mom texted me like, "Did you see what's on What's Up Newport?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "They're saying that there's cat boxes in the Newport school because, these kids are, I'm a cat and there's a cat box." And I said, "Well, I've heard that story out of Australia, but not here." And I went to What's Up Newport, and I'm like, okay. So someone's like, I saw, 3 different sources said and confirmed it, and whatever this person said, Okay. So I screenshot it. I sent it to the superintendent, Donna. I was like, this isn't true, right?
Interim Superintendent Donna Magoon.
Yes. Let's get official.
Newport ISD SAU 43. But yes, continue, please.
Listen, it's like talking to our friends when we're doing the show.
I got you.
But yes.
I got you.
You get official yes. So I expect maybe a message, a text back, some phone call. He's kind of like irate, like, are you kidding me? And she's like, that has not happened in our schools, and that would never happen in our schools. And she's like, as a matter of fact, I called Shannon up as soon as I get your message just to confirm, and she's like, I think I already know the answer. God, please tell me no, but are there cat box? And she's like, no, and it was just. So I thought I was going to respond, and then Donna responded to it, saying like, hey, if you hear something like this, like, how about you call me instead of spreading stuff around, whatever. So she reached out to that woman, and I guess the lady updated it on Facebook too, but then Donna told me too. But she actually went to the SAU, met Donna, spent like 2 hours with Donna. Donna literally brought her around the school. She talked to custodian, like all these people, and confirmed, obviously, there's no cat boxes, nor would there ever be cat boxes. And but it's good because it was a good update, and this person shared, like, hey, our tax laws aren't being wasted here with, so kind of like a, hey, what the hell to, all right, well, because I heard that, I'm like, I can't speak for everyone on the board, but I know for me, there ain't no way in hell it's happening, but.
This world is full of craziness.
Mm-hmm. So, shout out to, we don't usually do this unless you pay us to do it. Because,
Capitalism.
and, we like to eat too, but.
In this day and age.
So, Andrea goes to Dunkin' Donuts all the time. It's a daily morning thing. She gets iced coffee. It's not really coffee because it's more cream and sugar and, my grandfather says coffee's black. That's it. That's how coffee is. Okay, whatever. So Peggy works there. So I went over the other day, and I had to drop my truck off to get fixed. That's what it was. And Peggy's like, if you have time, could you run over to she works at Dunkin'. Can you run to Aroma and get me a apple cider? And you're just, all right. She's like, well, let's just do it now because I don't have to, all right, whatever. So go over there, and she's like, Lay's like, hot or cold? And she's like, crap, she didn't tell me. I was like, well, get her a nice one, because if she wants it hot, she can just heat it up at Dunkin' Donuts. So we both took a sip of her iced coffee, or her cider. I was like, oh, that's really good. So this morning I was coming here. I stopped at Aroma, which, holy crap, what a line. Like, they're busy in the morning. And, yeah,
Aroma Joe's.
Aroma
Dunkin'
Joe's.
Donuts, Newport, New Hampshire.
If you like apple cider, their apple cider is really good. Dunkin's apple cider, however, this is really...
Well, I wonder where
good
Aroma gets their apple cider.
Probably from Dunkin'. Maybe it's a cup that makes the difference. I don't know. No, but it's really good. So I got us that, and it's probably why I'm a little woke up this morning, because there's a lot of sugar in that
Yeah, you
cinnamon roll
cinnamon
thing.
Yeah, so you had the same thing?
Andrea got
Appreciate that, by the way.
Andrea got one of those the other day for me, and way better than Dunkin's. Like, I mean, theirs is a little different.
We're slapped around Dunkin' here.
Yeah.
I guess they're a national chain.
Yeah, we're not going to hurt their business.
I was talking to Peggy the other day, and I was like, oh, because she was saying how she has to wake up early there. I was like, oh, time to make the donuts. And she was like, I don't know what you mean. Because I obviously did it in the phrase of the commercial that was on through, I thought, the 90s at least, with the old guy. And it always reminded me of, like, Massachusetts, because he has, like, that weird Boston
Yeah,
accent.
but she was born in 01, I think.
Oh, was she?
She'll be 21 next month. Or not next month, November. Not quite to October yet. Speaking of that,
But she really does get there, just like in the commercial, like 4 a.m. to make the donuts.
yeah. She's always smiling, happy there, but she said, I really struggling to get up in the morning, because she's working at that, the hell is up in Spooky, I don't know, the thing up in Lebanon.
The corn maze thing?
No, the store that pops up every Halloween. Spirit Halloween. She's working up there, so... Like, that's a night job, and then sometimes she has that, and then comes back, and has Dunkin' in the morning. So it's tough, but she does it. She doesn't. I think there was one time she, like, called in sick or something on
I tried to talk to her the other day, give her my words of wisdom,
It's hard
which
with-
is, find somewhere that you really like, be on time, learn the job, be kind to people, and you'll be the manager in no time. Just takes, timeliness, patience, kindness, and then, a little bit of smarts because you got to know what you're doing. But, she's smart enough if she locked it down and got serious about work. She's still kind of young.
She's young. Yeah. No, she's doing good, though. So the other thing, you're surprised that she hasn't heard the donut thing, which... Yeah, I would
I'm
think
wondering
so.
when that went off the air.
But so this year's theme for homecoming, for the parade and stuff, is scary movies, but like PG, so no slasher films, crazy stuff. But so Amelia, who's a sophomore, is in 10th grade, and his class is doing the Addams Family, and Amelia says to me, "What's the Addams Family?"
There's even a cartoon out. There were movies in the 90s
Like,
of the Addams Family.
we're that freaking old now that, like, they don't know what the freaking Addams Family is?
Well,
Like, isn't that like a cult classic?
I want to say, like, when would I have watched the Addams Family? It would have been on UHF, right? Because it was off the air by the time I was, late 70s, early 80s when I would have watched it. But I feel like summer times, like, there were certain things that were just always on TV. Price is Right, The Munsters, The Addams Family, Mayberry, whatever that show was. What was that called? Was it Mayberry? You know what I'm talking about? With the redheaded guy, Opie and Andy.
Partridge Family?
No, you don't even know what I'm talking about? Mayberry?
Nah.
Matlock was the town sheriff with Don Knotts as the...
Oh, Barney Pfeiffer and
Yeah. It was always on TV.
oh, it's gonna drive me nuts now.
It's not called Mayberry?
That's Matlock, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. When he was younger. Is it Mayberry? No, Mayberry was the town. That's not the name of it though.
Maybe there was a spinoff?
Don Knox was the
Mayberry RFD? Oh, no, that's a different one.
no, it's not Mayberry. Andy Griffith Show.
Is that what it was called?
Yes. Andy Griffith Show. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's real. That's like our parents' age stuff, but
But Mayberry RFD was also the name of the show. 1968.
I couldn't believe, like, the Addams Family? Now, there was the Addams Family, like you're talking about, black and white back, like, I've seen that too. But then there was the movies, there was cartoon, like, it's a big thing.
There were a lot of game shows on TV. Gilligan's Island. But, Zeta never really watched TV that much.
You know,
Like, we would watch movies, like, on the weekends, we'd go see a movie or whatever, but when she was younger, I remember very distinctly the kids, like the older kids, because we lived in St. Louis, when she was, 4 to 8 or 9 years old. So, were pretty formidable years, but the two cul-de-sac neighborhood that we lived in, basically, all the older kids always wanted to go play video games or watch TV, and Zeta had nothing for that. She always come home and be like, they're sitting in front of a TV.
it's good. It's the problem nowadays is not
Which is why,
TVs.
like, Montana State's good for her. That's why I think living up here she wants to be out doing things.
No, it's good. Most kids now just want the phone. That's the biggest issue that needs to change somehow. Social media has destroyed this, not country, world.
Zeta will tell you that, like, one of the things that she appreciates is that we didn't let her have social media, and the phone was, like, supervised, and we'd turn it on and check out and see what all was going on, and all it takes is the one time to catch them, because, we're all going to do stupid, silly stuff as kids. Even as adults, we all mess up, think we're funny, or, you know what I mean, and next thing you know, we're getting made fun of or worse. So anyway, digress.
So this next Saturday, or
So maybe that's why, though. If there's a, I mean, he doesn't seem like the guy sitting around watching TV much. Even when I'm over there on the weekends, he might come in and watch football for an hour or two. But it seems like he's always out doing something.
yeah, he's pretty good with that. I mean, we used to have Wi-Fi at the house that hasn't worked all summer either, so that's some of it too. But he used to play video games a lot, but same thing. I think the Wi-Fi is a part of it.
How's your internet going to be at the new place? Is there a cable line? Are you actually going to have high speed?
I can actually get Comcast
at the part of Newport
or whatever.
that's wired in.
Yeah.
Because we're not wired in up here at North Newport, at least on my stretch of road. $10,000 if I want to get a.
Oh hell,
I have Starlink though, which
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah,
was a $500 or $600 investment, and now we're able to upload the show within an hour and a half, whereas before it would take us 10 hours.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, no, we have. Well, I don't know. We have Consolidated, aka Fairpoint, whatever. It literally hasn't worked all summer at all. And then they're like, "Oh, it's because we're going to update the lines or something." I'm like, "Oh, it's funny because I haven't seen you do it." So apparently, we just don't get it. Like,
Well, hopefully you're not paying for it. I'm sure Andrea
I would hope not.
wouldn't give them money if you don't have internet.
We haven't had so. The bill for Casella was late, and I don't know. I thought it'd come out automatically, right? So they didn't come 1 week. So Andrea calls, pays the bill. That's $200. It's $100 a month. So it was a month, pays it. Second week, they didn't come. She calls them like, "What the hell?" "Oh, it's because when you paid it takes 3 days online." I'm like, 3 freaking days? Comes out of my bank account immediately,
They said that to me once.
Yeah, so 3 days. That's why they didn't come.
Like I thought I paid it on, like, it was like.
Right. So in the meantime, our trash is like humped up, and we're bringing some to the land and putting in the dump trailer. Like, it's just like, what the hell?
I saw that the other day. I was going to say, did you need to borrow some space in my garbage can?
So this Wednesday, she calls them the day before, confirms, "Yes, we'll be there. You're all set, good to go." So she picks trash up that animals have got into probably for the 10th time, because you got some in the front now because the dumpster's full. We get back late that night, and Andrew comes in like, "They didn't pick up," and she's pissed. She's like, "They didn't pick up the effing dumpster again 3 weeks in a row," which was this last Wednesday. And I'm like, "I'm sorry. No, I did." And
It's your fault.
called him yesterday, and she's pissed. And the lady was actually mad too, because she's like, "There's no reason they didn't pick it up. It should have happened yesterday." So she said that she's like, "Call me." She must have gave him the name or something. She says, "I want you to call me on Friday once it's picked up to confirm it's been picked up, because it better be picked up. It was supposed to be picked up." And so we'll see at the end of the day or whatever. I don't know how it possibly, but unfortunately, because we used to have a Bounty, which is great, but she sold to Casella because some things happened in the family. I understand. But the camp is another one, which we've had the camp in the past, but we had a few issues, but they've gotten a lot bigger since then. So honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, if you need trash pickup, call the camp, because there's two options, Casella and the camp. Casella's a big company. You're just a number. I can tell you that right now. The camp, you could call and speak to the owner. Casella, you'll never get to the owner because it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's nationwide.
It's a huge
northeast wide.
Excuse me. They're great in Newport. I go all the time with dump trailer. Lady in the office. They're awesome. Guy in the, in the big, I don't know what you want to call it, garage, whatever, where you back in, you dump the trash. Awesome. Those people are awesome.
They're all nice. Yeah,
the employees are
I've
awesome.
dealt with them all before.
But it's such a big company now.
Yeah.
They don't give a crap. They didn't pick up Tim's trash.
Yeah, that happened to me a few years ago. I thought I had set up automatic payment or whatever,
Right.
and then my garbage didn't get picked up. I'm like, what the heck? Because you could do it online.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now I just pay it. I don't even, it went up quite a bit about a year ago. It almost doubled.
We're at $100 a month. They come once a week. Not bad. My brother, who has a place in Croydon, it's my parents' old place. He's fixing up. He owns the house now, whatever. He's gonna be moving there at some point. Wanted a dumpster, but he went. I guess mine's a 2-yard. He went a 4-yard, a little bigger. Come every other week, I think it was, something like that. Maybe once a week. I don't know. But $370 a month. And he's like, the hell with that? So I don't know what he did, but it's not worth it.
$370 a month?
If it's that kind of money, it might be worth me taking a dump trailer. I'll get my own customers and buy a couple of them things like you got and friggin' go out there and pick up trash. And because I brought a ton and a half there, which is a bunch of flooring, everything from the trailer or from the house the other day. Yesterday, $237 to dump it. For the whole ton and a half. So if you have a ton and a half of trash, so if I'm charging, like if you do the math, you can make money. It's not.
Can you
easy
throw
work.
like TVs and metal in that?
Metal, yes, but you're paying to get rid of the metal. If you have enough metal, you just go on Facebook and say, hey, anyone want free metal because they'll scrap it. TVs, I don't know. I've snuck some TVs in there before. I don't see why they don't just throw the TV in there. There's nothing hazardous. It's, like the old TVs were big and stuff. There's nothing. Refrigerators you have to pay to get rid of. It's like $25 a piece or something like that, or $40, or I don't know. But
I'm gonna have to make a run down there. I've been saying it for like 6 months, but man, I cleared out a lot 1 week.
Or you just take the stuff, bring it up to the land, put it in the dump trailer.
Yeah, but not the metal. You know what I mean? Like there's probably some stuff I could come up there and throw in there, styrofoam and boxes.
Yeah. So I hate putting metal in because that's technically worth something if you scrapped it. I'm paying to get rid of it. They take it out and scrap it, But sometimes I got too much stuff. I need to just get rid of it. I don't care. So sometimes it's whatever.
What about satellite dishes?
Yeah, it's just plastic with Maya. It's all good. All that can go in.
I got a satellite dish or two I need to toss.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm getting quite a collection of junk behind the garage here. Over near urinal.
My urinal by the basketball hoop.
I do have a basketball hoop if anybody needs it. Write us at Tim and Steve, was it? Show New Hampshire.
You keep talking. And she's like, where are you?
Yep, so anyway, I got a basketball goal I got to get rid of. Got it for Zeta. I think she used it 9 times.
See, you got the thing on the house to hook a hoop.
Yeah, they had a satellite dish on there before.
Oh, is that what that is?
It was
okay, never mind.
Usenet satellite dish.
I was like, ooh, that's cool. You can hook a basketball hoop and take it off. That's neat.
I wish. If I could do that, I wouldn't have the portable. It's full of sand, though, so if you know anybody who wants to come over and pick it up, write us.
Tim and Steve Show NH@gmail.com.
I mean, I could probably sell it for like $50, but
he'll give it to you.
I'll give
just
it
to take it.
Just to get it off the.
All right, a couple more things, and then we can get into some national
Do I have to pay to advertise? See if anybody writes us.
Whoever writes us. Which,
Yeah, well, you get a couple.
yeah, 2 people.
There's been some comments. Zeta screenshots anytime somebody puts something up there, whenever you post it on Facebook or whatever. Again, I don't have social media because
You're better off for
it's
it.
the downfall of society is the
I was listening to this.
social media because they manipulate you through bots.
Yeah.
A lot of bots out there saying the exact same thing in so many other words, and people are like, "Oh, well, yeah, this makes sense." Everybody else thinks like because we have a natural desire to want to fit in,
Well,
be part of the group.
So,
Except for me, I have a natural desire to be like, I don't really
want to
care.
be outside of the group.
Look,
So just before I was about turning your driveway this morning, listening to the radio, I listen to WNTK mostly, and before 8, it's just this repeat of like this one guy talking in a monologue kind of voice.
see, that's a dream job for me. I would love to just sit here and talk, have nothing really to say other than my musings.
You could do it. It's all right here. When I'm done,
Oh, it is here
do
in the
whatever.
studio above the garage.
So the guy explains new poll, whatever. Like I think he said like 58% of adults say they couldn't go 24 hours without the internet or like your phone or whatever. And I kind of laughed and I was like, I mean, honestly, like I'm hardly on my phone now because I'm working, so I got stuff to do.
We can go back and watch the footage and see how many times Tim has picked up his phone during this show. No less than 10 times probably before at this point in the show.
Hey, it's not my
challenge.
fault. People message me.
I'm just saying, you're bragging about you could go without your phone, not using it that much, but you've been on it quite a bit this morning. Well, you've been getting messages and fidgeting with it. So I'm challenging the fact that you'll be all right without the...
Listen, I won't go into a breakdown, I can tell you that. There's so many times I wished I didn't have a phone anymore. Just so I wouldn't have to have constant, like...
Note to self, take Tim's phone next time I see it laying around.
Have at it.
Hey, you saw me walk 2.5 miles on the course for the cleanup, the green up cleanup, remember?
I was looking for your wallet, though.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It was my wallet, wasn't it? Why did I think it was my phone?
I don't know.
Trying to fit the story to the other story.
I guess so. You probably didn't have your phone that day.
Yeah, I probably didn't.
No, you're hard to get hold of.
I don't like it because, like, even right now, I feel like what kind of radiation's going into my thigh? You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew a girl when I was in high school. Her mom was convinced that the portable phones, like, the little antennas, old school home phone, like the wireless ones, would cause brain tumors. And I'm telling you, she manifested her husband to have a brain tumor.
She didn't like
so,
it.
like, I'm telling you, like, it was like this girl's mom was like, there's no portable phones in this house, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They talk on a hand phone because of whatever research that this woman had read. And then, 3 years after I'd met this girl, like, I just met her like a student council camp or whatever, and it was just a friend. But her dad ended up getting a brain tumor and dying. How weird is that? That was not a cell phone. I'm not trying to put out bad science, and it could just be a coincidence. I just found it weird.
It wouldn't matter, Steve.
Because it stood out to me at the time because I'm like, but people really think that would happen?
Listen, you could prove that this phone gives you brain cancer, and you'd still have people out there like, oh, conspiracy theorist.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
All right, a couple more local things, then we can get into a few national things. Notice we've tried to go longer with the show now with this stuff that I feel like people are probably a little more interested in, because the national stuff just gets me and probably everyone else that listens to the show like just pissed off. It's like you don't even want to hear it anymore almost. But so I have a few things, but nothing huge. But so this was on What's Up Newport. I was going to share with everyone. Yes, it's still happening. There are some frequently asked questions about Newport's upcoming dog park and community garden. In May, we successfully completed the fundraising needs for this project and raised over $60,000. We expect the site clearing groundwork to take place this fall, and with anticipation of opening in the spring.
I thought that was a grant or something that they got. So then
20 or 25,000 of it was, yes. So then they must have raised additional money to do more. Yeah, that was one of the grants that Hunter got. That well, no. Let me back that up. We had a vote on it, as in people like me and everyone else says Facebook had a vote for Newport. You know how they do those things once in a while, like when the Simpsons movie come out, Springfield, Vermont, Springfield, Illinois, it's like they vote to who gets the opening thing. Same thing. It was an AARP grant. It didn't just cover the park, though, because if you look down by the covered bridge, is that little nice wooden thing where they can put information on it.
That's right.
That has a little placard on it that says AARP. So that must have been part of the thing. But so there's going to be the dog park. Supposedly it's going to be in the grassy area by Vance Auto Parts, Dollar General right there. So between the river and there. So that's cool. All fundraise. Didn't cost town nothing. No money out of our pocket.
Except for that $60,000.
No, someone fundraised it. I didn't give them any money. Didn't cost me a penny. Don't take my dog there, but some people will. That's great. Whatever. Baklava, blowout, feed the hungry, 5K run walk. So there's a sign down. I'm not calling for this now, but if you want to do this, it's $25 pre-registration, 30 same day registration. It's 8 a.m. The race day. You can start to register if you hadn't. And then the run starts at 10, and it's put on by the St. Vasilios, I believe, Greek Orthodox Church here in Newport. And basically, they're taking this money from what they said and for the food pantries for the churches. So it's a good cause. And if you want to get out, get some exercise in before it gets too cold out there. It's Sunday, October 9th, so next Sunday. Next Saturday is the homecoming game, homecoming weekend, the parade, all that good stuff. So excited about that. The senior
Looked
parents.
good on Saturday.
Yes.
Went to that game, checked out the...
Yeah. Tonight's the first game they're going to have all year that's really a challenge or any sort of challenge is Somersworth tonight, 7 o'clock under the lights in Somersworth. Somersworth won the championship last year, and we faced Somersworth the year before that for the championship. Like, they're a contender every year. So far, unfortunately, the teams we've played they're not great teams. We almost shouldn't be in this division, even though this is where we fit school-wise. But then at Division III, it's almost so it's flipped because we're kind of the team getting blown out a lot of times. It's a lot tougher, and it's unfortunate. It's too bad they couldn't mix the divisions up a little bit, put a little more competition in for some.
I wonder what the difference is. Just all of our boys like to play, and some girls like to play football.
I don't know.
You got to be inclusive there because.
But we're one of the
play football.
smallest schools. I think second smallest school in New Hampshire that has a football program. We've had fairly good success.
But even on Saturday's game, our subs, and granted we may dress all of JV. I don't know.
We did.
And you'd think the other team would too. I mean, they only had
I
half.
think they did. They just didn't.
Maybe less than half of our.
Yeah, Newfound just didn't have the numbers, but I did the change that day.
It was good to see. We had 20 cheerleaders out there. That's nice.
Yeah.
To
The only thing I was just kind of disappointed about that game is just there wasn't that many fans compared to usually. And I don't know if there's something going on or what because
it was nice out too.
yeah. Now, granted, with the bleachers there now that are huge, if that was all full, that would be more people than we've ever had probably at a game. But usually you got along the fence, people standing. It just seemed like a lot less people. Like I don't know why, but it was a beautiful day out too. So hopefully
We were on the chain gang. I sent a
Chain
picture to
gang.
all my boys saying, "Here's Tim."
It was so much more fun when I did it 2 years like on and off during the COVID stuff, and it was on the Newport side, and then now with COVID stuff gone or whatever, you go back to the other side. So much better on that Newport side. I really miss it. It's just not the same. I mean, it's interesting to hear what the other team and coaches are saying stuff, but it's not quite as much fun. But anyways, yeah, tonight they're playing Somersworth at 7 o'clock. Any support they could get, I'm sure, would be great. I know it's also on WCNL, broadcast live. NCTV, I don't know on this one because it's down there. I don't know, but I know the games at home are broadcast live, which is great. So, but yeah, next weekend, big weekend, homecoming weekend. A lot of stuff going on. Parade, obviously, Saturday.
They're gonna have a real parade this
We're gonna have a
year.
real parade this year, finally. I tried to get a bonfire, but it wasn't enough time left and worth my fight.
Welcome to the new normal, Timothy. No more small town flair. A new normal.
When I was getting my hair cut, someone actually said something the other day, yesterday, about it. I said, well, I tried. And I told Donna. Donna reached out. I can say her on the air if you want and give you the excuses, but I won't. But we'll just leave it at that for now. Well,
Even if we don't do a bonfire, right? Like, I get it. Like, you got to change with the times, whatever excuses they have.
Yeah.
Need to do something. A small town like this, and
we
yeah,
need to work on it.
need to come up with something as a town to make, because it is interesting to have everybody come together the night before. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was kind
It was
of
a big
like
thing.
one of the excuses, but not really. But you want a lot of, you know what I mean? Like, you want to bring the town together. Like,
Right.
the car show, the fireworks show, the
Yeah.
prom thing.
Right.
Like the things that Chief Wilmot, when he used to be the chief of police, said that was great about Newport. And slowly we're losing it all because,
It's very unfortunate because
well, and it's not always I'll just use the word administrators because I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not
No, I have an
always
idea
the
what-
people in charge. It's the You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Trust me.
We got to figure out something to.
It's too bad because with him not here, if he was here, he'd say yes. It's ours, yes. But it's not the case. Not anymore.
Yeah, but like it's so easy to say no.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the military, that was one of my things that I always harped on, which was like, it takes somebody special to get to a yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to just say no because of inconvenience, or you got to look something up.
It's a little harder. Makes my
You
job
know
a
what I
little
mean?
harder.
Earn your money and figure out if there's a way to get to a yes, and if there's not, there's always an exception to the rule.
Mm-hmm.
You can call up high enough, or write up high enough, or request approval high enough up to somebody that can say yes and has the authority to accept risk and responsibility. But anyway, I always harped on that, especially being an HR guy.
So, I mean, it's a no for this year, but I'm not done fighting for it. So,
Well, last year you graciously hosted the senior class out on the property, and we threw a big bonfire, and it was chaperoned by about, 13 of us?
Something like that.
11, and then we chaperoned the other 2 chaperones.
Did you, there was a comment, though. I'll say this comment, but it's a comment that by somebody will say that, had we known where it was, because we heard about it, that we would have went and stopped it. I'm thinking,
And you couldn't see the smoke?
you wouldn't have done shit on my land. You wanted to come on my land. First of all, I know 90% of the fire guys and have a good relationship with all of them.
I thought you had an approval.
Yeah, I had a permit. It was nothing. It's just a bunch of BS. You can tell me how many people I can have on my property? No, not likely.
You have 30 acres, so now there's a limit to how many people you can have on your property that is not a commercial. I mean, it's 30 freaking acres, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody really said that?
Mm-hmm.
Not from Newport, are they?
Nope.
Exactly. See, this is why I'm a firm believer in town management and everything else. You should live in the town. If you're going to be a cop in Newport, you should live in Newport. If you're going to be on the fire department, you should live in Newport. If you're going to be on the city government, you should live in Newport. Because what you get is, if you've ever watched the show, was it Parks and Recreation? You ever watch that? Parks and Rec?
A little bit, yeah. I know
Anyway, it's about small town management.
Mm-hmm.
They bring in a town manager because they're all loosey-goosey with their funds, and basically he has no... He's a nice guy and everything, but his answer to everything is no. Because they need to save money and blah, 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 and they're out of control, which, nothing wrong with that, but you know what I mean? It's very easy to say no when you don't live here, and you don't live here, and it's not part of your community. It's I don't care, whatever. I got something going on in my town on Saturday, so...
All I'll say is, I've noticed...
That's my take on...
So,
you want Steve's take on it? Local governance, you should all live in the town that you're governing.
now, the select board
Protecting.
and those people have to live in town, so I don't think,
right,
because, but administration-wise, don't, and, yeah, police and, all those things, they don't. Most of the police officers live in town or whatever, but yeah, yeah. No.
I mean, because if you think about it, Chief Wilmot was the exception to the rule. And he is only one town over. He grew up one town over, so he kind of knew a little bit about Newport.
Yeah.
But, I'm still, even though he's an exception to the rule, and it would hurt, to go back in time and make that, some policy, and I'm sure there's probably somebody it's against the law, whatever, but I don't think it should be.
Yeah.
If you're going to defend, and I mean, in some parts of the country, I think that's a requirement in some parts.
Well, most places...
If you're going to be on the Houston Police Department, you need to live in the Houston city limits. I don't know if that's true anymore or not.
It is different. It's kind of weird because, all right, so Peter Lamb used to be the chief when I was in high school. He came from Maine, whatever. So he applied for the position, moved his family here, in whatever. And he had been chief in a few different places, different states or whatever, okay? But that's what he did. He moved, and he lived there. But you don't have to do that apparently anymore because the current fire chief doesn't live in town. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know.
It's just, I don't know. That's my own personal opinion. Just I feel that You know what I mean?
Yeah. But so what I was going to say is one thing I've noticed, and I want people to realize that I'm someone like, I just want things done now, because that's just like in business, that's, we got to get this done. We get it done now. It's not, well, this is going to wait, and I don't like that crap. However, for instance, on the school board, I would say I think things are running very nice and smooth, and things are in the right direction, but everything is slower paced. It's nothing just immediately changes.
Yeah, it's like a barge.
Now, if we found out there was really a cat box in the school, then yeah, that could almost immediately change, because the board would, I would assume, the board would be like, hell no, that's not happening. Make that change. That's a simple change. But with the changes of other things, policies, different little things, it takes some time. The other challenge I think I find on the school board is like, we need more money. That's the biggest challenge is, so how do we get more money?
All of us need more money.
I know.
Everybody, individually, all the way up.
Yeah. But so there are some things like this bonfire I'm not done fighting for. So it's fine. I'm done for this year. But I expect between this year and the end of next summer, things will have changed in town again. So just a speculation on my part. But so still working it. Won't stop fighting for it. That one thing. And just because I believe in tradition, I thought graduation should be on the common. I always liked it there. Now that's high school. Okay, I'm fine with it. It works. It's nice.
Well, yeah, it's just like if you're not going to have the bonfire, have something else in its place that brings the town, the community together.
Right. Yeah. At least we got the parade this year.
Yeah, that's good. We had a parade last year that went by at 42 miles per hour.
Stupid
I told you that, right? That joke. Zeta's like, I've never been through downtown that fast before. It's the fastest she's ever traveled.
So today, the last time I'll have to say this, well, not that I've ever had to say it, but I like to say it. Farmers Market, 386 on the Common. This is the last Farmers Market for the year. Get out there if you want to get anything before it's gone. And then after that, you're going to have to search for it.
Yeah, I expanded my garden pretty good, and only thing that I could see myself being able to go and sell at the farmers market, like all summer long, without having a greenhouse and starting everything in like February and having it gigantic by May, or March by May, somewhere in there, would be beans. Like my beans, you know what I mean? Like I've had a good harvest of beans.
I did good with tomatoes.
Did you eat the tomatoes? Did Andrea try the tomatoes?
She did.
Did she like the orange ones or no?
Yeah.
Not the ones she's looking
She's
for?
like, that was like a little weird taste. I'm like, does he use something on? I'm like, no, Steve doesn't use anything on. I don't know.
She thought it tasted weird?
I don't know.
So disappointed. All right. I'll never send Andrea any more of my orange tomatoes. I don't think I have any left of those, actually, but
Those are good. I like them. I don't like tomatoes. They're good. All right, meme of the day.
she thought it tasted like there was something on them.
I don't know. She's like, well, maybe it was just me.
Did she wash it? I mean, I washed them before I put them in there, but
I'm just relaying the message of what was said. Steve, they were good. I tried them. I liked them.
the problem with Steve here is Steve takes everything personal, and those are some damn good tomatoes.
Yeah, and I personally like them, and I don't like tomatoes, so
Oh, I'll send you some tomatoes, Timothy.
thank you.
Andrea, I don't know. A little picky.
All right, meme of the day. We live in a world where your kid cannot pretend to be an Indian, but a grown man can pretend to be a woman. That is the freaking saddest thing ever, and it is so true.
I mean, you can't dress up as anything anymore.
Except a woman, if you're a man. That's okay.
Dude, we live in a clown world, man. I'm telling you. It's bizarro.
And you know what it takes? Everyone out there, you just have to say, no, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm all done with this woke BS. You just say no. That's all it takes. Just like the pandemic. All you had to do is stand up and say, no, we're not doing this anymore. Shove the mask up your ass.
I was watching a video of the former mayor of New York City trying to entice people to go get the shot with French fries. It was the most cringe-worthy thing. It was cringy back when I watched it. I'm sure I saw it back in the day. Like if you watch it right now and you're like, oh yeah, this looks legitimate, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you, man, but it's sketchy. And there's, like with the free donut. I mean, they gave out all kinds of free things, but this was a clip of him eating these French fries, talking about how good they were and how you could get a free thing of fries if you just went and got your shot today. I'm telling you, it's not, like whatever. They give away free stuff to entice people all the time for all kinds of things, right? Just if you have time and you want to watch something weird, look up mayor entices city to get shot with French fries. And tell me with a straight face that, oh, yeah, it seems legit. I trust that guy.
But once again, I think it's Pfizer trying to push it on 5 to 11-year-olds for boosters. So the variant that is the weakest variant of all, with the least amount of deaths, the whole thing, you want to keep putting that crap in kids, which probably no kids have died, even with the sick ones haven't died of this variant. I'm just always speculating, and I don't know this is a fact, but reality is people dying in this variant is dropped drastically.
Here's what my question is. So I'm not afraid to say this. I haven't had any of that I know of, unless I got some variant of this mRNA. You know what I mean? Who knows when you're in the military, whatever they're putting in you. They tell you one thing, but you don't know. Not, and I'm only saying that because the government has done some untoward stuff in the past. All you got to do is look it up. LSD experiments,
have you seen the
STD experiments? They did all kinds of stuff. Like, so to sit here, like, I'm just saying this for the 3 people who are watching us to hate on us or whatever. Like, the proof is in the pudding that the government is not always straightforward. But anyway, so yeah, I digressed on that whole thing. I forgot about what vaccine I was talking about. Oh, how they're going to convince me, I haven't had one, right? So you need 1 or 2, and then you need 2 boosters. So how are they going to convince me that I need to get those first 2 shots while convincing the other people that they need the next 2 shots by telling them that their first 2 shots have worn off? They're no longer effective against the new strains, right? So now you know that the first shots are no longer effective because now you need these 1 or 2 more boosters. Like, if you apply logic to that, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how you can convince me to get my first 2 shots while convincing someone else to get their 4th or 5th shot. Like, I'm not going to get any now because now now I see the grift. I see the grift. It's like, whatever, McAfee virus, whatever, for your computer, right? There's always an upgrade. It's a never-ending cycle of $100 purchases a year, or 60, whatever. I don't know. I don't have antivirus anymore. I just figure I'm being, I try to stay smart with my laptop, email, you know what I mean, to try not to get any viruses. I don't open anything crazy or whatever, but I just assume that there's already viruses on here.
Yeah, just waiting time. I swear PC's famous for that. It's a time thing. As soon as you start it, you set your computer up, then the viruses start coming in or just starts to slow down, whatever. So they sell more.
It's like the Apple. All of a sudden your phone starts slowing down right after the 2 generations later upgrade. They don't do it right away, but...
Knock on wood, the computers have always been good, but the phones, I agree. This is like a 10. It's a piece of crap. Like, it really is. It just doesn't work half the time. I know it's the phone.
Well, they're not amping up the production of the 14 because there's not...
Which I don't want to buy now because LeBron James is trying to sell it. And I don't want a damn thing that dude's trying to sell. Like...
I have had... So, my issue with LeBron started with the decision with that smarmy Jim, whatever his name was back in the day. Little 5'3" guy. Allegedly, I don't know how tall he is, but... he's sitting there talking about basketball and football like he knows what he's talking about, and he would never survive on the basketball court. Jim Gray. It's called The Decision. Where would LeBron go? Do you remember that?
No, but he's tanked every team he's ever been on.
And then he left Cleveland to go to Miami.
Yeah, he's back in L.A., I think. Listen, if you're going to, your name or whatever, your nickname is King James, that right there is... enough for me to be like, yeah, no. Yeah. Michael Jordan is still better than you, and always will be.
I'm a big Hakeem Olajuwon fan. Like, nobody's better than Hakeem the Dream, baby.
Remember, was it Bugsy? Who's that little guy?
Yeah.
He was like my height. I said little, well, 5'8", 5. He was short. That dude was good. I mean, you're on a basketball court. It was 6'5".
Didn't he play
plus.
Teen Wolf or whatever? Wasn't he the stunt actor for Teen Wolf?
I don't know.
I think he was.
He was in Space Jam.
I think he was
The
in
first
Teen
Space
Wolf.
Jam?
I think he's the guy in the wolf costume that's dunking.
Maybe the first Space Jam, awesome. Michael Jordan, those guys, great. Second one, LeBron James, tanked. Why? Say no more. LeBron James.
Teen Wolf basketball player. Does it say who it was?
That says Michael J. Fox.
Well, he played the main character, but I'm pretty sure it was the guy you're talking about.
Bugsy?
Jeff Glosser. That's not who I was talking about. Well, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, probably not. So, did you see that Fauci and his wife's net worth jumped $5 million during the pandemic?
Well, I mean, AOC,
How would that happen, you think?
AOC's a multimillionaire now.
Yeah, wonder how that happened.
Hey, look, I've come to the conclusion while I'm continuing to look this up, this basketball thing is going to drive me nuts that I don't know what I'm talking about. If you haven't figured out yet that the federal government's a scam and they're not here to support us, think about this. This is what any of you out there who think that you're liberal and you have all these good ideals and blah, blah, blah and everything else, when your own government or your military leaders are telling soldiers to go get on food stamps to be able to afford to live right now, and they can get together and pass another, what is it, $6 billion going to Ukraine this week? I'm going on the underside so I don't get fact-checked or whatever.
Who freaking knows?
So let's say we're sending billions of dollars this week to the Ukraine, a week after our leaders told soldiers to go get on food stamps, that that's a viable option. So we're going to make sure that Ukraine has money for their military while our soldiers are on food stamps. If you don't have a problem with that, people, you're crazy. If you think that whatever is going on in Ukraine deserves more than what our soldiers that are putting their lives on the line for you, then you're crazy. You're not something's off with you. If you think that it's okay to send billions of dollars this week, another large sum of billions of dollars to the Ukraine, while last week our leaders are telling soldiers to get on food stamps, garbage. You don't even ever try to talk to me. Like, that's how I feel about it. You want to get Steve fired up about something? Take care of those who are trying to protect and preserve whatever we have left of this constitutional republic. If you are really working for the people, Hassan, Shaheen.
Do you know the only freaking...
You're not working for the people.
Do you know the only platform...
It's very clear with that happening this week. Like, why wouldn't they address that immediately? Why wouldn't someone in Congress, I'm sure there's about 5 or 9 people that probably did, or
That's about the only thing.
13. Let's say there's, 13 big bases. So 13 states probably have, people saying, hey, let's get our soldiers and sailors and Marines money so they can afford to live. And then the other 400 and 500 congressmen and senators are like, let's send money to Ukraine. They don't care about us. Wake up. If they did, that some of that money would have went to the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard to make sure that those young men and women can freaking eat without having to go on freaking food stamps. Now, don't get me wrong. There'll be some junior soldiers that make mistakes, go out and buy Cadillacs, cars they can't afford, and they get themselves in this spot on, it's a few of those. In the grand scheme of things, when the Army comes out and says, go on food stamps, you're not addressing the 5 or 10% that are bad with money to begin with. You're addressing, or it might even be higher than that, but what you're saying is we don't really care about our military. We care about Ukraine's military. Why?
Yeah, well.
Care about our military first, or take off some of that and say, hey, this goes directly into soldiers' pay. Whatever. I just, to me, there's no slap in the face more apparent than this. And if you're awake and you're watching this and you're like, oh, wow, wait.
You still see signs out there. I see them every day for Hassan and Annie Custer. So I want to stop, knock on the door, and be like, so you're going to tell me you're happy with everything right now? The fact that the country is burning, basically, you're happy with that, and you're going to send them back there because they've done such a great job. Hassan, who voted 96% of the time for Biden, but she's the most bipartisan, blah, blah, blah. The only base, the only thing, every freaking ad I've heard on the TV about her is she's going to protect your right for an abortion because that's what really matters. You can't eat. You will starve to death. You'll freeze to death in your home this year, but she cares about that. Then why doesn't she introduce a bill today saying, let's make abortion legal in all 50 states? Now, supposedly, Don Bulldog's supposed to be in Newport today. I'd really like to go down there and meet him and say, hey, so here's the deal. You'll end up debating Hassan, I'm sure, at some point, because now it's the final two. I wouldn't think she wouldn't debate. You never know. But why don't you, and I'm sure I won't, and this is all allegedly because maybe if I do go see him and say this, maybe he will, and maybe I'm wrong. But why don't you stand there during the debate, grow a set of kahunas, and say, well, Maggie Hassan, why don't you introduce a bill legalizing abortion if that's your one thing you want to run on? Right now, why don't you do that? Why don't you Democrats pass a law right now making abortion legal?
Because they're using the press,
boom,
to say they're
going to take your rights. They're going to take your rights. They're the ones trying to force a freaking needle in your arm. Your body, your choice.
So what they're doing is they're using this as a reason to say that the elections are going to be closer than what they are. They're saying that people want to change this on this topic, and so that's going to force more people to vote Democrat, which, oddly enough, fits right into their narrative, which is vote harder for us so that we can
do the same thing we do for you all the time. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a money grab. It's just a talking point. If they wanted to do, which, if they win, the Democrats win, I suspect that they would do that. Right? Like they would pass it.
No, they won't.
Or are they going to couch it for one more election, maybe?
Yeah.
But it's a money scheme, if y'all hadn't figured that out yet, because they could change it.
Yeah.
So it's just a money and an argument scheme to try to get people to vote for them that aren't paying attention, that they could change it right now. Because a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I support that, so I'm going to vote for all Democrats. Well, no, you shouldn't, because if they really wanted to do that, they would do it now and not ask you to vote for them for that. They would have another reason to have you vote for them. Logic and reason. It exists if you apply it.
Let's talk about this. Now I'm getting fired up. Show's running along. Don't care. I've only done one this week, so this is always a touchy subject, but I'm going to go for it because I don't really give a shit.
I don't talk about touchy subjects.
This one's touchy.
I'll keep looking for this teen wolf basketball player.
So Democrats, for years, have exploited the black community. They vote for Democrats. Democrats will do this for you. Vote for Democrats. Democrats have passed. First of all, Democrat Party was the party of the KKK. It's history. Google it. Whatever. But it's just reality. Jim Crow, Democrats. Crime bill in 92, I think it was. Joe Biden, Democrats. Put more black people in jail than any law. Kamala Harris, put more black people in jail than other people. Constantly.
For smoking weed, and then she went on the radio and bragged about smoking weed.
Yeah. Funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're black or Hispanic or anything besides just plain white, the Democrats will exploit that and tell you how they'll do so much for you. And then they'll say that Republicans, they're racist, they're this or that. Well, I think they're finally starting to realize. When I say I think they're starting to realize, I think the large groups of minorities, I guess is what they say, but whatever, black people, Hispanics, are starting to leave the Democrat Party like, wait a minute, for 50 years you've been telling us, but if you look at every Democrat-run city, the black people are the poor populations run by Democrats. Democrats have exploited more black people in this country and Hispanics or whatever than any freaking party, anything in history. Oh, just vote for me, though, one more time, and I'll make it better. And they're finally starting to say, F you, we're going to try these people over here because, you know what? You haven't done anything for us. Nothing. So, yeah, keep voting Democrat. Now, I'll say it Republicans are no freaking better. They're the same people. However, if you want to look at how the country is right now and how it's gone, let's look at the last 2 years. And let's look at the 4 years before that. Well, I think we kind of need to quickly reverse roles and go that direction for a little bit. And then we need to keep working on primarying out all these freaking people that have been there forever. All these people. Mitch McConnell should be history. Get the hell out.
Yeah,
All these guys have been there forever. And everyone bitches about, oh, it's rich white men running the country. There's still rich white men running the country. You vote them, you send them there. Don't send them there anymore. Send minorities, send women, send young white guys that have never been there.
Yeah.
But you still take your orders from rich white men. Joe Biden's 80 years old, been in Congress his whole freaking life. Chuck Schumer, same thing. But they're the party of progression. They're the party of change. Really?
No, it's the same. I'm telling you, it's a uniparty system. It's kind of like when Don Bolduc finally got the Republican nominee, then he starts changing all of his answers to questions, and he starts going right along with the Republican line. So, welcome to politics.
But which evil do you want, though?
I don't want evil at all. I want people who only care about their town, their state, and then their country. Like, it doesn't take that many people. The government's way over bloated. I mean, I don't even think you could call me a libertarian because I disagree with some libertarian things. I'm just a middle-of-the-road guy, but I do know that I'm part of the 68 to 70% that think that the country's on the wrong track. And no one is listening to us. And the fact that everybody that voted to send money to Ukraine this week, knowing that our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardmen
should all be voted out of office,
are having to go on food stamps because of the economic crisis that our country is in, which I saw something, and they worded it better than probably I could say it, but it basically said, my heating is doubled or my electricity is doubled, gas is tripled or quadrupled.
It's gone down.
Oh, but it's still
right around election time.
$1.30, so it's still $30 more than what I was paying 2 years ago just for one tank of gas. So that's, every time you fill up a tank, at least once a week, most people.
I get diesel for the excavator. I've been doing this for a while now. $50 for 10 gallons. Now it's down to $44.
Big savings.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so you see all this stuff and you're like, no, I can't be a part of it because they're all sending this money to Ukraine. And that's not all. So most of them are signing off on this, which again, I'm not here to debate Ukraine. What I'm saying is you gave them all that, and where was the earmarked money for soldiers' pay?
When's the last time they did anything for this country? Oh, the Inflation Reduction Act, that will not do anything but cause more inflation.
Here's the thing. We're trillions of dollars in debt, and we're going to send billions of dollars to Ukraine?
Yeah. Because that's all they know how to do. Spend money they don't have. Our money. People out there are like, oh, the government's going to... There's no government money. It's our money.
I know.
The government doesn't have any money.
They get it from us.
Yeah.
If we pay our taxes.
If you learn and paid attention in school, and for the ones that didn't have the option because they didn't teach you what they should have taught you, the government works for you. For you. You come to a school board meeting and say, this is my opinion about something. We represent you and the other three members. Now, granted, you could sit there and say, I don't like that your mascot's a tiger and you should change that. Well, you know what? That's great that you feel that. I don't care. Honestly, I don't. So it's not an automatic, well, you work for me. But they represent you. They do work for you. And if they're not working for you,
so
if we just keep going there and doing things that go against the school, that hurt the school, we're not working for the people anymore. And we need to be voted out of office or removed from office or whatever. Because that's how it works. It doesn't just, that's how it works. That's how government works. That's why you have elections. Vote them out.
Of the people.
Yeah. Government, it was for the people. We the people.
Government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Yes. You see Bill Gates talking about a civil war and some big election thing. I think he was talking about 2024. And I was talking to someone the other day. He's like, I don't think there's going to be a civil war. There might be a class war.
Well, they're trying to get rid of the middle class.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But going back to my rant, everything is way up more than like 9% inflation. I'm telling you right now,
That's the biggest
man.
bunch of crap.
I'm about to have to go start looking for a job, and I did my planning when I retired to be young, out of the Army, and like letting my body heal and everything else. And now, because of these bad policies, I'm seriously thinking about going and looking for a job. I can't even stand up for like 10 minutes without having to sit back down because my back hurts. Like literally, I can't hardly stand for like 10 minutes before I need to sit down. And I'm going to go get a job. But, it's 9%. No. There's more than 9% of my value is
How
lost.
could it be 9% being gas has doubled, your light bill just doubled, food is like doubled.
Oh, easily.
So everything's doubled, but it's 8%.
Yeah, it's such garbage.
Just like we're not in a recession, even though the technical term for a recession is 2 negative growth.
Yeah, we already covered that a month and a half, 2 months ago when I
But
predicted it 10 days before they
the
tried
new
to lie
quarter
and
is
say it
coming out
didn't
soon,
happen.
right? End of October. Just before midterms, I believe.
No, it should be today should be the end of the quarter.
That's right. It's October, November. Yeah. They'll probably hold it for a while, though.
Maybe they'll throw another party with celebrate the economy.
Yeah.
They're literally dancing and having a party at the White House while you can't afford. Well, I'm having to buy. I'll speak for me. $100 of freaking heating oil a month, or not $100, 100 gallons a month to try to spread out the cost over time because that's doubled.
But
More
hey,
than doubled.
the President of the United States stands up in front of a bunch of people and thanks and looks around for a
He's getting lost now when he walks.
senator, or not, she was a senator or representative that his sentence died like 2 months ago. And he's like, oh, where are Jackie? Where are you? Anyways.
Yeah, he's not really in charge of anything. It's his handlers that are doing all this.
Mm-hmm. All right, a couple quick things and we'll wrap the show up. But we always bash on Gavin Newsom, so I found something good that he's doing. It's not resigning, though.
There's no way he's doing anything good.
Well, no, he's going to he vetoes a bill that would have given illegal aliens unemployment benefits in California. Traitor to his party right there, huh? Whoops. Talk about brainless people. Vice President Harris makes a major gaffe, mistakenly suggesting the U.S. has an alliance with North Korea while visiting the DMZ. That's probably because she smoked so much crack or pot.
No,
She's just dumb.
I think it's a joke on society to see
How did this
how
work?
many people just let her get it. Like how many people still vote for Democrats based on her representing the second highest position in the land and doesn't understand.
How did she get this far, honestly? Nah. Come on.
She was well connected with some powerful men. Well connected. Allegedly, I must say that for legal purposes. It's not even allegedly. Wasn't she?
It's not allegedly.
Who was that talk show host? She was his arm candy.
I don't know what she
Montel Williams. She was Montel
Yes.
Williams's.
Yeah. Was it Joe Brown? The governor, was it Joe Brown?
Well, he was married at the time, so.
And she was mayor. He was mayor, right? And she was.
Allegedly. I have to say that for the fact checkers' purposes.
Yeah,
There's
lawsuit
a lot of facts
purposes.
getting checked today. These are all my own personal opinion.
This other thing. Joe Biden wants to spend $22 billion. $1 billion must not be much anymore because they give that out like it's
They're
nothing.
just sitting there hitting print.
Billion here,
making-
billion there, billion here.
They're taxing us as they're doing all this. That's just making your dollar.
He's like freaking Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, Oprah
Your
Winfrey.
dollar's worth like 15 cents compared to, I don't know.
Seriously, Oprah, right here. Joe Biden, Oprah, same person. Everyone's like, "Oh,
Free
Oprah's
car.
Oprah's so amazing. It was all sponsors. She didn't give away any of her own money." But anyways, Joe Biden wants to spend $22 billion of taxpayers' money on a pandemic he declared was over. Biden's executive orders to date have cost taxpayers over $1 trillion. As of last week, when I wrote that there, he signed 99 executive orders. And he hasn't even been in office 2 years.
So they've all been doing the executive orders, but
He's on track
$1 trillion, that's crazy.
In like 20 months, $1 trillion.
I go back to we the people. The government is supposed to work for us. The government is not working for us.
It's
If the
time to
government
pull
was working
out.
for us, they would help out the small percentage of men and women who are serving our armed forces.
It is time to pull out the big bags of feathers and the tar.
Go old school. I could see that. People would have to put down their phones. They'd have to communicate with each other. They have to take an active role in making sure that their towns and everything act properly. Can you be socially conscious? Can you be responsible for that kind of stuff? I know it's a facetious question, rhetorical question, not facetious. What you got going on over there, Mr. Can Do Without Technology?
Listen,
As he's texting again.
listen. When your wife sends you
Anybody keeping count?
listen, when your wife sends you a picture of your rooster standing up there and the chickens are out,
How'd they all get out?
that's what I want to know. Because
Did you fix that door?
yeah, so we've lost 5 chickens in the last week.
They got back in even after you fixed that door?
No, once I
Oh.
fixed it. So I lost 2. I thought it was 1. I don't know. Something got in. I can see where I got it right. So we closed that or whatever. Made sure the chickens were at night, the whole thing. 3 more. Now I'm really getting pissed because I only got 12 in the rooster. So that night it was late, but I screwed the door shut because we think a raccoon was getting in and lifting up the door that slides to go out in between the coop and outside. So we've been good since then. But then she just sent me a picture of the chickens are out. They're alive. A little bit of food they should go right back in, I think. But I'm like, what the hell?
So you screwed it in? Well, that's kind of... I was thinking about that. They would have probably chewed through the rope or untied it if it is raccoons. So you got to come up with a better contraption.
I ain't getting through now. I screwed the damn thing shut.
Yeah, but how are you going to let them out?
Unscrew it?
It's a lot of work. I mean, you could just put like a latch with like a little...
Have you seen how much stuff I got to do? Yeah. Let's go build a freaking...
I got all kinds of ideas. Meanwhile, I got a bunch of junk behind the garage I need to take to the dump for the last 12 months.
You know where my chicken coop is? Then why don't you go put a latch on it? Sir, fix a lot.
Hey, excuse me. I will go. Maybe I'll go over there today and fix it. I don't know. I got to check my chore list around the house. I got a lot of stuff to do around here.
I promise you show up at Steve's house at noon, you'd probably be napping.
Whatever.
All right, positive view of the day. I haven't done one of these in a while. Yeah.
1 o'clock's my nap time.
Oh, don't come at 1. He's freaking napping. He's pissed if you wake him up. Appreciate change. Don't fear it. Allow it to take you to an incredible point in your life. You'll be so happy you embraced it. Unless it's Steve's nap and you wake him up.
Have you ever woken me up from my nap?
I don't think so.
Nikki's the only one that ever does that. She's the only one that calls me. That's why I can do without my phone. Because I'll see her eventually, right? Unless it's an emergency. But how did you deal with emergencies back in the 80s?
I don't know.
70s? You just dealt with it.
I don't know. Dealt with it.
You didn't call somebody and be like, I have an emergency. You called the cops or the fire department.
Anyways, so get out to the farmer's market today. It's the last one. Plan for next Saturday for the homecoming game, parade. Let's show up, support the school. Good news is no litter boxes in the school.
I hadn't even heard that. See, that's the good thing about not being on social media.
That's true.
I don't have to get fired up. I probably would have had a heart attack about that.
Well, If we had done a show last Friday, we would have had a really good show because we were really fired up after our school board meeting, but nothing to do with the current administration or anything. It's all good, but we'll discuss that in the show.
There's no NBA player in Teen Wolf. They went to college and found somebody. And they trained Michael J. Fox in basketball. He had a very particular regimen, so anytime you see him on court, it's him. It's not a body double. He went through rigorous basketball training. However, when he's playing as the Wolf, it's this college player.
The good news is anyone that's 30 and under has no damn clue what you're talking about. So,
Teen Wolf was a show that was on TV not too long ago, but it was based off of the movie, so some younger people might know. But most of our audience is probably older and knows exactly what Teen Wolf I'm talking about.
I feel like I failed as a parent. My kid didn't know what freaking the Addams Family was.
Nah, that's all right. It's just, I don't know. I could probably watch the Addams Family now and point out all the propaganda in it.
Yeah,
maybe not though.
So
the 50s.
Today's backdrop.
Probably though.
Another picture from Sam Nelson. Works at the school, Beaver Pond Farm. He took this picture the other day. I was like, oh, got to use that one because he's one of those pictures. He's get some nice pictures. So that's today's picture. And also Twin State Paving. I don't know if they're still sponsoring us this month because our show's been a little weird. So we just figured we'd give them extra time because there was like a weekend.
Hey, they've been good to us.
So yes, if you want to get that driveway paved or something, you might want to call them soon. Or if you're like, hey, next year I want to get my driveway done, now would be a good time to call, get on the schedule, because that's something that fills up fairly, quick. People that's planning ahead for these things. So, and honestly, things don't look good now. You might want to pave your driveway because next year it might be 3 times as much. I don't know. Crazy. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And if we're not banned from the internet, we'll be back next week. We'll at least be doing 1 show a week. I promise you that. But we'll try to do some more. I just kind of need a place to live, and
hey,
don't want to live in a tent.
If we need to, man, I can come in here and pontificate for 20 minutes just to keep the...
I'll update you if Steve actually comes out and fixes the chicken coop.
Challenge almost accepted. I just got to...
Not going to happen. Busy man. A lot going on.
Hey, I got 20 acres of my own to deal with, baby. I haven't worked on my trails all year. And I got to fix that door that I was supposed to fix last summer.
That's true.
But those parts don't come till Sunday. I got all my parts ordered, so I got a bunch of stuff coming up next week.
Don't get yourself in too much trouble, because I really got a lot to do. I don't need to have to come here and help fix it for you.
Hey, I only got one thing I need help with before winter.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Jesus. I gave him my brother's number.
I knew it. I should have just called him 2 months ago, man.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And, if we don't see you around town, we will talk to you next time.